somebody's about to lose their job over at CNN. You know, when you tell the truth over there, things get a little rocky. If anything, they just got put on blast.
Tonight said anything. Nobody tonight said a damn thing. They want you to vote for a ticket based on absolutely no concrete idea about what they would do once they get in office. You said he got more progressive when he got elected governor. So you're saying every time he gets another office, he gets more and more progressive. I think that's exactly what would happen. Tonight, you did hear people say, well, we may not agree with them on everything, but at least it'll be joyful as they tax us into oblivion. I think the idea that you could run an entire presidential campaign based on the idea of vote for me to find out what's in it.
Wait a minute,
ought to terrify every American.
All they are running on is imagination. They want you to imagine the things that they're going to do for you. When they want you to imagine them not actually being, well, Kamala at least, not actually being in position currently to invoke some of the changes that she's trying to campaign on. As far as Tim Walz watching the DNC last night, I don't really have any clips that I want to review here. He had some moments there where he touched on. He had some hard moment, touching moments. But outside of that, it was no real merit, no policy, no plan, none of that. All of it is just the whole DNC is just aimed to say that Trump is not good for this country. Basically, that's what the whole DNC is. Every person that goes up there is Trump this, Trump that, Trump this, Trump that. But I like Scott up here, Scott Jennings, how he came up here and just told them the flat out truth. You had your boy Van Jones right at the end, like, hold up, wait a minute. We even got CNN's Dana Bash. She just said that Kamala Harris' campaign is tailoring its message to appeal to low testosterone men. Ouch.
But they are doing so in trying to put forward male figures, Tim Walz being one of them, Doug Emhoff last night, who can speak to men out there who might not be the sort of testosterone-laden, gun-toting kind of guy who wants to listen to Hulk Hogan and the kind of players that came out at the RNC, or might want to listen to that, but also, in addition, understand that it's okay in 2024 to be a man comfortable in his own skin who supports a woman. And that's something that they really are trying to work on with male voters beyond the base.
Abby, we were talking.
I'm just saying. They was giving out free vasectomies, and apparently some vasectomies was had. I'm just saying, who they appealed to, she quite literally said it. I'm not saying that I prefer the image that she portrayed, but I definitely prefer that over somebody that's gonna be a crying victim all the time. That's not me. Let's read a few of these comments. Unbelievable. I support women. I have daughters, and I do not want them competing against men in sports or getting or inappropriate. I'm gonna just say there were things going on in the locker room by a man that claims he's a woman. Things are disgusting and pathetic for sure. And to also imply that somehow you don't care, the right doesn't care about women, that's just completely false, man. Come on now. If anything, the left only cares about one particular woman of color. Protect this woman and at all costs. And I always advocate to say, hey, we need to protect all women. Anyhow, moving on. Chris Cuomo. Y'all, we just looking at these meltdowns right here. Chris Cuomo called out the hypocrisy at the DNC. Let's go and check this out.
A big theme here at the DNC is that they're going to go after corporate gouging. And they're going to go after corporations, whether it's in taxes, largesse, loopholes. The RNC, we heard the same thing. They're going after the elites, the two sets of rules. Let me reveal a reality to you that has to be spoken to here, okay? These are the soldiers These are the men and the women that go back to their constituencies and their communities, and they fight. They take time from their jobs. They take time from their families. Republicans and Democrats alike, that's what they do. They need to charge these people up. They need to be able to get them on board. But there's another reality that is literally looking down on them. Greg, look at the ring of sweets, okay? This is not unique to Democrats. There is a game of money. When people talk about uniparty, we are strangled by the money reality in our politics. Those suites start at 500 grand. You think there's like a teacher group up in there? You think it's like the Cub Scouts of Columbia County, South Carolina, that's up in those boxes? Some of them are lobbies and good things. The media boxes, you think they're free? Why do you think I'm on the floor? News Nation is not a broke company. Nexstar is a massive organization. We are corporate media. We don't have one of those boxes because that's the game. You pay to play. Those boxes are filled with the same people that they say they're going to regulate. They are literally looking down on the faithful and being told, yeah, we're going to break down on them. We're going to make them pay their share. They paid $500, $700, $1 million, $1.5 million to have those seats. They get hotel suites that are probably gifted to the party. And the same thing is true with the Republican side. And they're going to take them down. They're going to change how it is. They are looking down from on high at the people who make the difference in their communities. And that is the reality of politics. And I had my producer walk around and show you those suites. Now, they're not all the same. They're not all the same. But the reality is, in 2000, they spent $300 million on presidential campaigns. 24 years later, you know what they're expected to spend? $10 billion. Do you know how much money Harris has raised in the last couple of weeks? Hundreds of millions. And that's success. A lot of it's small donor, a lot of it isn't. The most dangerous money in politics is now legal money because of Citizens United. You've got to know this. The idea that they can fight against it is almost laughable. It's almost laughable. So look and listen when you are told these things. Because I don't care what they promise you. Not here tonight, not at the RNC, not that Trump knows them, not that they don't own them. He did one of the biggest fundraisers I've ever heard of in my life out where I live. Millions of dollars a plate. That's the reality of politics.
Somebody said something in the comments that was like dead on for Chris Cuomo. If you know Chris Cuomo, Christopher C. Cuomo. Anyhow, it said, bro ain't ever in his career spoke so many facts. He's cooking. What the oh gosh. I'm sitting here like, dang, bro. Like, is he just mad that he ain't get a box, or is he genuinely like, yo? You know, because obviously he's the worst of the worst, and it could come off as bitter. He could be a little bit over there, sitting over there like, you know what, they ain't let me in the club, man. You know what I'm saying? They over here paying whoop-de-whoop and wop-de-wop. But he could be getting red pilled. We don't know. I think, I don't know, man. I feel like Don Lemon is going to be red pilled for some reason. I feel like he has no other way to go right now. I know that sounds, I'm not trying to make it seem like becoming a conservative or more right-leaning is trendy and nothing like that, but in today's climate, finding it's not trendy, it's just common sense. Like, anyhow, him taking to the streets recently and getting bombarded with Trump praise, I think his common sense gonna start to lock in, because he's starting to interact with more and more people on the floor. Outside of the media realm, legacy media realm. Now, Chris Cuomo, I'm just saying he could be on that same path right now. Like, I'm tired of y'all doing me like that, bro. We finna, you know what I'm saying? Somebody said, well, he certainly would know. Kudos to Chris for telling the truth. Somebody said, first time I ever agreed with him. Democrats are complete hypocrites. Yeah, I mean, we all know he paid off and used cigars on, I don't know what that is. First time this clown has ever told the truth, but the lies about impeachment, Russia, etc. he's told over the years makes his legitimate message ring hollow. Somebody said, did he swallow the red pill? Even he can't handle his disdain. Good for him, somebody else said. And in addition to all this, Kamala Harris wasn't even there. Yes, She wasn't even there, y'all. She was watching in the hotel room, you know what I mean? Probably trying to figure out what she want to identify as that day, trying to pick out her ethnic background for the day in the closet, just chilling, watching.
But as you know, the vice president was not in the arena tonight to watch her running mate, Tim Walz, give his big speech. She was watching from her hotel room here in downtown Chicago.
You know, one thing I can admire about Donald Trump is he will go into the room where nobody likes him, you know, like that journalist convention where he obviously, he was walking into the lion's den, but he walks there and his message gets misconstrued, chopped up, but he's there to have civil discourse, to try to push the conversation forward. Not to spread hate, anything of that nature, but at the DNC, that's all I seen was hatred being spread. And this woman right here, man, she blasts the entire Democrat Party and the DNC for the hatred that they spewed last night. Let's check it out.
I had to come back on here today and talk about what's going on in the United States. After watching the Democrat National Convention last night and after seeing their whole convention based on hatred, what they're doing is they're trying to program their people to hate the other Americans. As I said, I've always grown up with two political parties, main political parties in this country. I have never seen where they hated each other. And I have seen several presidential elections, you know, but this level of hatred is not coincidental. Okay, I want you to understand that. That is planned hatred. If you notice, if you look at Joe Biden's speech last night and how angry he was, I was like, if you haven't talked to the American people with all of the things that are going on in this world, the last thing you should do is come up and yell at people and preach hatred. If you looked at Hillary Clinton, if you looked at Steve Kerr, you looked at all of the other people that spoke last night, they were preaching hatred. And the reason that that's so important to you is they were preaching hatred against Americans and against the USA. You understand that? That was not coincidental. I say now, after asking for the last month, that their party platform is hatred. It is to divide and to conquer. And the reason that's so important is I also read from Bricks News that President Biden had said for Americans to be prepared for nuclear conflicts with Russia, China, and North Korea. Now, I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound like a battle that anyone should want to be in, because that's assuming that we're the top dogs. And right now, we really aren't. And so I would be extremely concerned about that. And I would be concerned at how is my family going to survive this? You know, a few years ago, and we have to admit, the United States was consumed by an evil power, a power that does not have our country's best interests at heart. If they did, we would not have open borders. The purpose of open borders is to change a culture. It is to change people who are accustomed to living together. On my street, right across the street from me, are two white men that are gay, and then next door to me is a black man. The next door to on the other side of me is a Hispanic family. We live in harmony and have lived in harmony for 10 years, and we don't care about whatever. And you know what? I don't even know what political party they belong to, but we have lived in harmony. That's the way we are in America. So when you bring people from countries who have already been here for the first month they come here and they say they hate us and they hate our country, then what happens to our country? Then our country starts falling apart. This destruction of the United States is planned. It is intentional. So I want you to do something, and we need to talk about it. The most important thing that you can do is share information with your families. And I'm going to tell you, Robert F. Kennedy has some great information. You can go to YouTube or even on here. I don't know how long his videos are on here. Go to YouTube or go to X and just search for him. He has some great information on what's happening in the world. You need to know, and you need to know who your enemy is. My enemy is not my neighbor, the white guy that's homosexual across the street from me, or the Hispanic people that live next door to me, or the white people that live 2 doors down from me. Those are not my enemies. You must recognize who your enemies are. Your enemy right now, we're in a battle between good and evil. Good are the people that have been a part of our country, who came here however we got here, and we live in harmony. Evil are the people who want to destroy all of that. Understand that. So again, my message to the Democrats is that you are preaching hatred, and we know it. We know what you're doing. We know that you're preaching hatred, and we know and recognize that that's your party's platform.
Man, I just wish the whole world can see what she sees, because boy, she's right on target, yo. I think that we're in a time now where the divide is growing wider and wider and wider and wider. And I would like to believe that I'm someone who's trying to help remove that, who's trying to prevent that from continuing to grow. But we live in a society today where, man, we got to stay prayed up, because it's really good versus evil. As she put it, it's really like that right now.